Matt Jones.
Matt.
SAG-AFTRA, 6'4". I live in LA, and I am willing to really do anything to my hair.
Hello, welcome to the podcast. I am your host, Mike Elder. Thank you so much for being here. We've got a really fun episode this week, a really great episode, a really optimistic episode. The great Matt Jones, actor, comedian, returns to the podcast. He did the podcast about 10 years ago, live at IO West. You would know Matt from shows like Breaking Bad, The Office, Bob Hearts Abishola, Mom. He's got a ton of credits. Click his IMDb in the description. But all that to say, this was a really fun conversation. I ran into Matt a couple weeks ago at a bar. We talked. We said, let's get you back on. And we did that. He didn't disappoint. He talked honestly and candidly, and you're going to hear a lot more of that in a matter of seconds. So without any more ado, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Jones.
You want to talk to me? You want to talk?
Is that how you normally slate?
No. I was just trying to think of dumb things I've had to say in slates.
Oh yeah, do hands. Dude, I had a crazy slate the other day. You should have seen. I posted it to my Instagram. I got so many mad responses. It was like a paragraph of what to do in the slate.
Oh,
I
saw that. I saw that. Yeah, that's
I was
infuriating.
I had to memorize the slate.
I've started sneaking in things. I mean, granted, I'm not booking things lately, so it's probably not working for me, but there's been a couple times where I'll be like, Matt Jones, I live in Los Angeles, 6'4", SAG, and then at the end I go,
Really?
yeah. Or I do something where I'm like, just fucking watch it. There's no way of knowing if you're watching it. I don't know if you're watching it. So if I get negative feedback, like, hey, don't flip people off at the end of your slate, then I'll be like, well, I at least know my agent's watching.
Dude, this is
no
so
one
good.
said anything yet. So it's
How many times have you
either
done
they
that?
find 4 or 5. So at least either they find it funny or no one's watching, but I'm not getting negative feedback.
Dude, I freaking love that because so many of my conversations lately are like, how do we stand out in self-tapes? And like, I talked to Adam Shapiro last week, and he was like, on the end of every slate, I say, I'm in New Zealand, but I'll be back in a day. Just to make it sound like, oh, what's he doing in New Zealand?
That's really funny.
Yeah, but it's like, we send these off into the ether, and then we don't know what happens to them. So it's funny. I like that you're testing.
Or if it shoots in Canada, I'll be like, and also I'm married to a Canadian.
Oh, nice.
For now. And then she laughs off camera, and then I'd leave that in. Because I'm married to a professional actor, so I do double the tapes than ever.
Oh, you help with her on everything.
I do hers. She does mine.
Yeah.
It's not always the most healthy thing to do as a
it gets
couple.
a little dicey.
No, it's just exhausting, you know?
Well, feedback's tricky, right? You want to give them feedback, but you don't want to. I do self-tapes with friends, and it's like, should I give them feedback or should I wait for them to ask for feedback?
It really depends, because sometimes you're just, especially lately, where you're frustrated and you're like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. And she doesn't know if I'm doing it right, because no one tells us what to do. So there's no like direction or a casting director. So it's really just, I guess I'll try this. And then sometimes I'm like really not right for the role, but I really need to book a job. So I'll still tape, because what if I am right for it, but I don't know, like stuff like that. And so I'm just frustrated, and she's frustrated, and we have 2 kids, and it's late at night because we have to do it after the kids go to bed, and we're just bleary-eyed, exhausted, and it's hard. Having kids and doing self-tapes is extremely hard. And then sometimes agents will be like, well, why don't you go to a self-tape studio? And I'm like, because I'm not paying someone money. I'm not doing that. I draw the line. I'm not paying money to audition. That's what that is paying money to audition. I'm not going to do it. Sorry. Maybe that means I don't get the next Michael Bay movie, or I don't know who makes movies now.
For Nolan.
Oh, Christopher Nolan, great. If I just mumble into the mic, I'll get hired.
I hate that too, the lack of direction. So
There is no direction.
And I hate to go against what you just said, but I often hire coaches, especially for like bigger
Hey, you know what?
ones,
And
because then they at least tell me what to do, and I can like.
honestly, I'm not saying I don't understand why people do it. I just find it, and I'm not judging people that do it, because there's especially people trying to figure stuff out a little more. I just find it morally reprehensible that it feels like we're forced to do it. And I am like, I don't want to do it.
I agree with you. And I draw the line out when they say use your environment, go out and film it. And I've talked to a lot of casting directors.
I've
hate
never
that.
seen that. I've
Really?
never had an audition where I've had
I
to
get
do
a
that.
ton.
That's crazy.
It's so infuriating.
That's
I'm
a
like, no,
commercial.
I have a square with a backdrop. You can have that. I'm not going out in my car and shooting a cinematic movie for you.
That's a commercial thing, right?
More so, yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts. But they do it because people do it.
I know, which is frustrating. We enable
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
If you give a mouse a cookie, he'll want milk to go with it.
Yeah.
It's a great book for your kids, by the way.
Oh, we've read them all. Mouse and Cookie, Moose and Muffin.
Moose and Muffin, yeah.
Moose and Muffin.
Matt, by the way, before we get too dark, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
You know, the last time you did this podcast was almost 10 years ago.
It makes me want to kill myself.
Okay, great. We got darker. And we ran
No, time is going by quickly and so slowly.
Time is a construct. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it. Nothing matters.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
We ran into each other at the bar, and
Yeah.
you were happy to see me, and you were just
Yeah.
like super like talkative about the business. And I want to talk to you about the business and where your mind is now with it, given what we
Can
just
I
talked
be
about briefly.
incredibly honest?
Yeah, tell me.
With you, I really like your Instagram stuff, and the podcast, like the clip stuff specifically, because sometimes it's so sad and I can't think of a better word. Like, it makes me feel as an actor pathetic. You know what I mean? And
Liking my podcast? Wow.
no, not liking the podcast. Some of the things that you're talking about, it's like to a certain base level, it is so pathetic, and it's okay to say that it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's like to act like it's not is almost hard.
Well, could you give us an example? What do you mean? Pathetic in what way? Like that we even have to talk about it, you mean?
No. In the way of like we we do so much work for nothing.
Oh my God, I feel seen.
Like, so we're like, I bought all this shit and I'm doing as much as I can. And even back in the day, you'd go into a room. I'm so old that I used to audition in person with black and white headshots. And you better bring a headshot those days. You go into a room and you do your audition. And if you're not a total psychopath, you walk out of that audition going, hey, that went well, or that didn't go great. You have one of those thoughts, or I feel nothing from that. I have no idea what happened. Sure, that happens too. But usually, most of the time, you walk out of there and be like, well, I feel like I learned something, right? The energy of that room, the direction by that casting director, I don't know, just the energy of sitting there and having something memorized and yada, yada, all that. You just felt like you learned something. And the more I auditioned, the better I got. The more experience came of it. The more I knew how to play the game. So much of it. And that's all gone now. If you're not in person, it's just, it's no different than, I don't know, just recording yourself, talking to yourself on your phone, and then just deleting it. You're like, that's all it is. So without like feedback, it's tough. And I'm not even blaming casting directors because I have friends that are casting directors. It is not easy for them.
So do I, yeah.
And I'm not blaming producers either, because I got good friends that are producers and showrunners, and I've had friends that are like, I want to put you on my show, and I can't right now because I have no control over my own show. That happens all the time. Like, it's just the way things are at the moment. I don't blame anybody. I blame myself for choosing this career. No, I'm just kidding. I can't do anything else.
So all that to say, you love my podcast, which was buried in there, but I really appreciate it.
I came in hot with
What's funny though is, like, to your point, was like you love the clips, and my podcast, the audio itself, gets no listens. I honestly don't know why I post the audio. Like, the clips get thousands and thousands and thousands, if not tens of thousands of views. But the audio gets nothing.
It is interesting that is true now. I used to listen to so much long form podcasts, and I stopped. I don't have time.
Yeah.
Like, I can't sit around and listen to anything for more than an hour. It's hard.
Yeah.
But those, like, condense, and also when I see people now taking, like, editing and taking good bits of what came of that episode, that's great.
Yeah, it's much more usable.
Condensed.
Yeah. And targeted to that person, because the algorithm feeds you what you need.
Yeah.
You know what the clips, though, I want to talk about your first interview for a second. Do you know what clips really took off from your first interview that we did at live at IO West? People are obsessed with Breaking Bad, obviously, but also your voice. You talking about how your voice got stuck was huge.
Yeah. It's just, do you want me to talk about it again?
No,
Go look it up. My voice.
Do people still come up to you and ask you about your voice and recognize you solely from your voice?
Yeah. I get trapped a lot of times. You're like, oh, I thought that was you, and then you talked. And I'm like, well, yeah, there's no hiding. Yeah. I mean, the only thing I'm really doing consistently right now still is voiceover.
Right.
That's been my saving grace for years, has been cartoons and such like that.
Yeah. Even back then you said that too.
I'll say right now, that world is the only world I've seen that hasn't really fallen apart.
Which is weird to me, because when you said you were doing auditions with your wife still, I now for the last couple months use an AI tool that I just put in the lines. I upload the PDF. It takes all the lines, and then I say, this is me and this is you, and it's an AI voice, and I do all my auditions with an AI person now.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
How does that work?
It's great. The moment I'm done with my line, they say the next line. It's so much easier than waiting for a friend.
And you upload their voice?
No. They have 50 voices to choose from. I just upload the lines.
No, I know, but like when you send your audition off, you can hear an AI voice?
Yeah.
Wow.
I do it on that computer, and then I record it on my iPhone. Yeah.
Wow.
But that's what worries. That's where I'm at. Let's get dark. I'm so worried about AI.
Worried about AI.
Like when you see, like you
there's certain things, like comedy wise. There's this Instagram thing called Fat Fellas.
Okay.
I can't say the words because it's just look up Fat Fellas on Instagram, and it's very large black men doing very, very funny things.
Okay.
And it's AI, and it's so funny. I don't know anybody who could make those videos outside of AI. It's so funny. I can't argue with the fact that that's really, really funny to me.
Yeah. I've been really stressed out about this. Because have you seen those like short videos where a guy will set up like 5 mannequins, walk in and walk out, and then have AI make it into a complete lawyer scene? And it looks like a legit real scene where he just walked by lawyers and they were talking. It's wild. Like, I feel like movie making screwed, and I'm excited to talk to you and confirm this.
I mean, to an extent, yes, I understand, but honestly, do you watch a lot of TV right now?
No, I watch a lot of sports.
That's everyone I talk to. Yeah. I'm like, what are you watching? And they're like, Severance. They watched that. I really like The Studio.
I love The Studio.
I've got friends on that show. It's a very funny show.
I've reached out to so many producers on that show.
Incredible show. Besides that, I mean, every now and then, I really like that new John Hamm show on Apple TV. It's very good.
Sure.
Friends and Neighbors. But even then, it's like, man, it takes me and my wife weeks to sometimes get through an episode just because we're tired and we got other stuff going on.
But even everything the 3 shows you just said, do you even realize you did this? They're all Apple Plus shows where this is secondary and they don't even care about this. This is just something to sell iPhones.
No, that's not true. It's not to sell iPhones. It's to keep up the brand. And it's because, honestly, Apple like really likes celebrities. And they like being famous and like going to these parties. Seriously. And if they have a whole movie studio, then they're part of the conversation of what's cool in culture. That's worth more than spending a ton of money on marketing. Their network is literally just marketing for the elitism of their products, which is not a bad marketing tool. And they're giving a lot of money to creatives that they think they trust. And if those creatives do a really good job of the show, then that's great. And if they don't, then they move on to somebody else, like any other network. But at least they're not driven by the desperation of needing people to watch their show.
Sure.
Because that desperation creates everything else we see on TV, which can be written by AI.
Yeah.
A lot of it can.
So you think Apple, Amazon, them getting in scripted is good ultimately for the business?
I do.
Oh, that's good to hear.
It's not good for us monetarily.
Yeah, definitely.
But I believe that I don't know, they look like they're supporting creatives outside of like FX. And I don't know, there's ideas there that are really interesting. You know, Netflix as well has good ideas, but then they're still driven by a subscriber base, so they need clicks. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to. I really am not. But I do. Yeah, it's interesting. The shows that I find that are very good right now are those Apple shows. I just read a really good script this week for a pilot I'm auditioning for.
Oh, nice.
That's going to be on Netflix.
Wait, how much are you still auditioning? Like, to me, why do you still audition?
Are you kidding?
You did it to me the last time we interviewed. You give me like these. To me, from where I'm sitting, like you have a resume that speaks for itself, right? You did how many episodes of Bob Loves Abula?
Bob Hearts Abishola. What did we do?
80 episodes?
Yeah, 100? Almost 100.
Right.
Yeah.
You did like 50 episodes of Mom or whatever? Like, why do you still need to audition?
4 seasons of Mom. Because I won't get jobs if I don't audition. I have to audition to get a job.
Oh, okay. You're so matter of fact about it, but
It's just the real. I'm not going to throw people under the bus, but I know people with recent Emmys that still audition for guest stars. That's where we're at right now.
Why? Like, has that changed? Like, were you?
Oh yeah. Oh, it's changed.
Were you
significantly.
offered roles previous? Like, you had to be offered
No.
Bob Hearts, right?
I did get that, but that's just because I was on Mom and because of Chuck. I was still, when I was offered Bob, it was because, again, I was on Mom previous, but I was auditioning for stuff all the time then. I wasn't offered anything. I don't know what else to say. No one, there's a thing I've heard lately where it's like, oh, if you're offer only, that means that you don't get jobs. You know, I have agent and manager friends that are like, yeah, my offer only clients just don't work because they don't audition because everybody's auditioning. Everybody.
How much, okay, can I push back a little bit? How much of this do you think is a result of us doing what we said earlier, right? Like, we have left the straight up self-tape backdrop and we are now being creative, filming things. We're like, there's people among us going above and beyond that are doing things out of that, and that causes this. And then maybe, like, I don't know, Jennifer Lawrence chooses to audition for something she really wants, and it just, then the next person does it, the next person does it. Like, does it feel like we're giving a mouse a cookie again, like with this? Or do you think?
No, it's there's a significant amount of people that were on television shows, and then that show ended.
Sure.
And they didn't get a job after that, and then they needed money to live, so then they had to audition. And that happened to thousands of people.
Yeah.
It's not about like, oh, if you start I've heard that over the years. Oh, once you start auditioning, then you always have to. And you're like, that's ridiculous. I need to work. I am a blue collar born kid. I'm like, I have to work, so I have to audition to work. I also have no problem auditioning. If I went in for in person for an audition, and I was like, I was like, thank you. I could not stop saying thank you to the casting director just for seeing me in person, because it made me feel like I was an actor again. I haven't felt that in literally 5 years. It was my first in-person audition in 5 years. That's crazy. We didn't start acting to yell into a microphone. Like, it makes more sense to just make something AI and put it on YouTube if you want people to see it, because I make stuff all the time that no one ever sees. I don't even know if my agents see them. Who knows? No one talks to me about shit. Like, I don't know. But also, I'm not saying they should, because they've got hundreds of clients, because no one's working right now, and they have to throw all the shit in the toilet at the wall and see what sticks, or else their agency's going to close. Everyone. You hear about agencies and management companies going under all the time now. It's where we're at. It's where things are.
Okay, there's so much to unpack there. First off, you're with Gersh, right?
Yes.
Have you? When did you join Gersh? Because that's a big agency. That's one of the big five, I would say.
God, I don't even know.
And when did they approach you? Was it when you got the Chuck Lorre show?
Jeez, when did I join Gersh? I'm in Gersh like 7 years. Okay. 6 years.
So to your point, you said you don't know if they watch it. Do you feel like you could ask them and talk to them?
No. I'm not trying to be a dick. Like, I'm sure they do here and there, but also, like, you know, them sitting around and watching everybody's audition doesn't really change anything. You know what I mean? Like, the turnaround sometimes 48 hours. What are they going to call me and say to do it again? They're not going to do that to me. You know?
Right.
Also, I'm of age where I'm not going to make a shitty audition. Like, that's not where I'm at in my career.
Yeah.
They trust me. So it's like, they're getting me the audition and all that, you know, like, I don't know what them even watching it would mean. Do you know what I mean? What that matters.
Okay.
Sadly.
I feel like I'm your therapist right now.
I know.
You said, I don't know if they're watching it. And then you said, well, then you discounted you not getting watched. And you're like, well, it doesn't even matter if they watch.
It does. I know. Those two things can be true at the same time.
But you could still need that validation that they're watching it. And even if you got... Wait, pause.
Did you just say need validation?
Well, you could use it. Even if... No? Even if they said, great tape, like something like that, would that help?
No.
Really? It would help me, honestly. I like any feedback.
I won't tell you what it is, but I had a show recently that I auditioned for, and I had a Zoom audition with producers, which is awful, because that is just not good for anybody, but it's not their fault, not mine. And I didn't get it. And my agent's saying, oh, you were super close, or they loved you, all that does not mean anything to me.
Yeah.
I have 2 kids and a mortgage. I want, you got the job or you didn't, we're looking for another one. That's it.
Yeah.
The validation thing, I might have needed that in my 20s, even into my 30s. But I'm too old now. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what? I coach baseball. I coach my son's baseball team. And some kids need validation and some kids do not want it.
Right.
You know, it's however you coach. You coach every kid differently. And I'm one that I don't need a lot of validation, you know? I want conversations. I don't want, like, I want to talk. I want that, but I also don't. I don't need you to tell me how you think I'm good.
So when you say earlier, there's no feedback, there's no direction.
I'm not
I don't
talking
know if
about
anyone's
agents.
watching. No, I know.
Yeah.
And you're just talking matter of factly. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily want that stuff. It's just that's where we're at.
I will say, like, when you send in a tape and casting gets back to your agents, they're like, hey, we really like his tape. That's awesome. That's great. You don't get that much.
Never.
But that really, really helps actors. That one little moment of humanity of we really like his tape.
Yeah.
That's all we have now.
I would agree.
That's literally all we have.
Because otherwise you can catastrophize. I'm like, not even knowing if I did great. It's like, did I do really bad? And then I just end up down these weird spider webs. If I did really bad, I did really good. And I don't know because there's it's like a weird choose your own adventure, I feel like.
Yeah. I don't know. I've heard casting directors seeing 2,000 people for a role. And they say that and they're like, oh, isn't that great? And I was like, no, it's not great. You shouldn't see 2,000 people for the role.
No, it's not.
You shouldn't. Your job as a casting director, in my opinion, is to curate types over time, people with experience, bring in new people and old people, and a thing of both. And you should be seeing close to 200, not 2,000. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What do I know?
I feel like, wait, you can't discount yourself
I can absolutely discount myself.
You speak eloquently, and then at the end you're like, "What do I know? I'm just a clown funny guy." Blah, blah. Have you thought about walking away? To your point,
God, no.
Because I feel like last time you talked about this is the only thing you know how to do.
I'm in my 40s. It's not the only thing I know how to do. It's the only thing I've committed myself to for, I have been in the union working solidly for over 20 years. I can't. What else am I going to do? I love woodworking, right? I could go build furniture. So then I have to spend $200,000 to $300,000 on tools and a workshop, and then start getting my business out there and working all the time. You know what I mean? Build a business over 5 years. Like, am I going to do all that? That's crazy. I've already built a business. The business of the tall guy with the weird voice it's been working for 20 years. I just have to be there for the transition of my next self in this career, whatever that is. Everybody likes to say, I've written things in the past and made some stuff, and stuff has worked out and has not. And you hear a lot now, you're like, well, go write your own thing. Go.
I remember you were doing that 10 years ago. Sure. You were selling them scripts 10 years ago.
And they're like, go write your own thing. You're like, I have. And also, what if I don't have it right now? I don't have the thing that I wrote. Like, I wrote something and then I was like, I don't think it's that good. So I got to write something else. But also I have kids and I'm trying to get jobs. And you know what's different than 10 years ago? I have a 9.5-year-old and I'm divorced and remarried from the last time I did this podcast. And then me and my new wife had another kid. So my second kid is with my second wife. And my ex-wife and my current wife get along really well. They're friends. We are all like, my ex-wife is still one of my best friends. Like, we are all working together. Like, personally, my life has never been better.
Oh, that's good to hear.
I am so unbelievably happy in my personal life. It's great. I love my kids. Like I said, I coach my son's baseball team. It's so fun. Last night we had a playoff game. We were there till game ended at like 10 o'clock. We won. We're playing again this Friday. such a huge game. We won 16-4. We beat the shit out of those kids. Awesome. It's just it's so fun, my personal life. It really is. So if I had an opportunity to get a show where I have to move to New York for 5 months and I didn't get it, I'm not that bummed.
Yeah.
I need the money. I'm not being very responsible with money.
Dude,
but that validation thing, it's gone because I love my family more than validation.
can I ask you something very personal?
Mm-hmm.
Do you really need the money though? Like,
Yeah.
really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. When you see these like sitcoms that go for 5 years, particularly
That
Chuck Lorre,
is done, dude.
really?
That money is done. I was just on a show. On a show that did almost 100 episodes on CBS. I did not make very much money from that.
Really?
No. We like residuals, laughably nothing on network television. It's
See,
done.
this is worrisome. That's scary to me.
It's
Because
just
that's
how
the
it
goal.
is now.
Because you think
There
of
is
like
no goal. That's my point. Listen to what I'm saying. I love my family. The validation is
about my
gone.
goal.
I know. And your goal is wrong,
you
man.
come here to just stomp
Telling
on my
you, man.
dreams second time. in a
No.
row.
Your dreams are wrong.
I think you're right though. Wait, can you tell me?
I'm serious.
Wait, can you tell me what you made an episode? Or
No.
okay.
But I can tell you, I think I talked about this last time, actor math, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you hear someone's making 50 grand an episode, say that, they're really making 15 grand an episode.
Sure.
After taxes, lawyer, agent, manager, all of that, you're really taking home maybe 15 to 20 grand.
Yep.
So 20 grand, you do 10 episodes, you're only making 200 grand for that year. They held you for, if you're just making 10 episodes in a year, which most shows are now, 10 to 13, making 20 grand. So I know people that are series regulars on television shows that live in 1-bedroom apartments in the Valley.
Yeah.
Like we are rich from television. It's over. I bought a house. I got divorced, and then that was not cheap. And then I bought a house that was falling apart, and we fixed it up so my mortgage is low, which is nice. But we fixed it up, and we spent a lot of money on that. And then family and taking care of the kids and living in LA, living anywhere in America right now. Like, Mike, this cup of coffee, delicious. $6. Come on.
Where'd you get it? Did you go to Maru?
No, it's called Collage. It's in Highland Park.
Oh.
But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I do. I do.
that money thing, you hear these stories, that is over.
Which is a bummer because I think of, like Josh Radnor from How I Met Your Mother. He does not do anything anymore. You know what I
So
mean?
they made more money
right,
back
because
then.
it was that's what I'm saying.
Significantly more.
That's what I'm saying. And to me, that's the dream. Or was the dream, which is dead now. But you do 8 seasons of a show and then never work again.
Did
To
you
me, it's
hear
like
what
perfect.
happened on Bob Hearts Abishola?
No, I didn't.
Okay, this was news during the
God.
strike, but it wasn't really wildly reported or talked about that much because we didn't, I don't know. We thought about all coming out and getting mad, but it's like, what's the point? So going into season 5, they basically call all of us. And the show was Bob and Abishola, 1 and 2 on the show, number 1 and 2 on the show. Then the family under that. My mom was 3 on the show. I was 4. And then everyone else down the line. They, for the final season of the show, said, if you guys want there to be a season 5, this is a non-negotiable, this is what's happening. They fired everyone on the show. All the actors were let go. Their contracts were all were nullified. So 1 and 2 stayed on the show. Everyone else was let go. And everyone else was brought back as guest stars.
Oh.
So we had just done 80 episodes or 80 plus. And we're like, oh, renegotiation. You get a raise, right? No, you get fired and you get brought back, and everybody, instead of doing 26 or 22 or whatever, now you get 5 episodes for the last season.
Oh.
I was lucky and I got 6. I think everybody else ended up getting 6, somewhere around there. We got 6 episodes. And they gave us that option right before the strike. And then we didn't work. And then what are we going to say? No. Also, we love our crew, right? So if we all say no, then the crew loses their jobs. And we also, there was this misconception about our show that like there was a bunch of series regulars and that they had to do this because there's too many series regulars. That's insane. We all had a come to Jesus moment. We all got texts that said, how much do you make? How much do you make? And we were the lowest paid cast in sitcom history, going out of season 4 into season 5. Like, no one was making very much money. They fired all these people who already were not making money, and then brought us all back as guest stars. And we all did it because we loved our show and we all needed the money and we didn't want the show to end. And we did our 6 episodes, and Warner Brothers was like, bye. And that was it.
So that was Warner Brothers' decision, obviously. It wasn't.
I don't know whose. I can't even begin to decide whose decision that was, but we were a bellwether of. I'm walking the lines at the strike, and people are like, "What the fuck?" All these actors coming up, and like, no one has ever heard of that. Everyone's agent called, and they're like, "This has never happened before. There is no precedent because we've never heard of them firing everyone on a show and bringing everyone back as guest stars to save money." I still don't know why that decision was made. I don't blame Chuck Lorre or Chuck Lorre Productions or any of them. I know for a fact they don't want to do that.
I was just going to ask, are you close with Chuck? Could you ask him what happened?
I'm not going to ask Chuck what happened. Chuck wants to pay people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they all want people to get paid. They all want everybody to make their money and to make a good show. That is not the decision of them. You know, and also I want to work more, so I still love Warner Brothers. She's like an abused wife over here. No, he still loves me.
You are a little bit.
But yeah, like for me, I was a series regular for 9 years on the Warner Brothers lot. And I still never got above the amount of money I know people get paid on pilots. You would not.
I thought you were going to give us a number for a second.
The number is lower than you think, I'll tell you that.
Okay, so it's under $50,000 an episode.
I'm not going to say what it is. Oh my God. But it's yeah, so
let me ask you this. And we don't have to be positive at all in this. I know the last time you gave me grief about, like, you didn't give me grief. You were like, I know you want this to be a positive show.
Well, I was in a different place than I was 10 years ago. I was in a bad marriage.
You did tell me that at the bar when I saw you a couple weeks ago, that you were in a different place.
I'm in a very different place,
but
personally, yeah.
After all of what you just said, I am nowhere near where you are. I am stressed out about AI. I'm stressed out about self-tapes. Should I be optimistic? Should I keep pursuing this?
Yes.
If you had any feedback or thoughts for somebody like in my position, what would your thoughts be? Because if you're struggling so much and you're like 20 years ahead of me, you get what I'm getting at?
Sure.
Find something in there or not. I don't care, but like I'm curious what you'd think to that. And I just quit my day job last month, by the way.
Okay, cool.
I was making very good money.
Oh, fuck, man.
And I quit my job.
Why? Are they hiring?
Well, see, that's what I was wondering about you. You just said you don't want to do anything else. So
No, if someone was to say to me, what's a good number? Someone was to say to me, you get $300,000 a year.
we're doing this.
$300,000 a year.
Frank Coyote just did this. I love
You
it.
never act again. Yeah, so 100%.
$300,000 a year to never act again.
Done.
Okay.
I can take care of my family. I'm fine. Yeah. I'll do other things. You know what I do? I play music. I play music all the time. That's the thing that makes me happy.
Yeah.
I was just reading this book and they were talking about like personal life versus professional life and having a hobby that you don't need to get anything from. I had this really great experience recently where a friend was running the show at the Elysian and I went and did it and I've been writing music in secret kind of for over 10 years. And I played these 2 songs that I had written and the audience like responded really well. And I was like, oh yeah, I love music and I'm never going to make money from music and I'm not going to be a famous musician. Like who cares? Like, I really like doing that.
Yeah.
That's nice. So I do that. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like,
back to my question though. Let's get some optimism or not.
No, but this is all a part of a greater point.
Oh,
I had done, sadly, I had done this signing, right, in Albuquerque. Went to a con, signed pictures. And
for Breaking Bad, obviously.
Not for Breaking Bad specifically. There were Breaking Bad people there, but I had my own table. I have
cool.
Agent, and people want signatures for other things too, whatever. And you're there, and you're doing selfies and signing things for money, and it's not the greatest feeling. But again, you need money to live, and I don't fault anybody for doing that. And in the backstage of that, I'm sitting around at a table with other people there's some people who have been much more famous than I am or I've ever been. And we're all sitting around talking and like, yeah, the industry's not great right now. But that's not what we talked about really. We're talking about our families and like our personal life and the things that make us happy. And if this shit isn't making you happy, like, I think there is a place of drive and perspective, and they have to meet someplace healthy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This whole hustle culture and like, I get up at 6 a.m. and I work on my shit. It's like, ugh. I know very, very famous people with Emmys and Oscars that are not happy. And they have gone through multiple sad times in their lives. And then I know people who have not worked much and are very, very happy people.
Yeah.
And your career does not equal happiness. Winning an Emmy or being on a successful show can tear your life apart, can destroy your life. And not having a job can really, for me, like, make your time with your kids and your family like some of the best times I've ever had. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Not working lately has been kind of great.
Yeah.
I do need money though. So,
but if you did if you went to one of those signings and like somebody said, I live in Omaha, I'm going to move to LA and start acting, would you encourage them to do that? Because I hear you. I definitely hear you. Like, I don't tie my happiness to this industry. I'm well aware not to do that. That would be silly to do. And I have my hobbies like golf that I do tie my happiness to. And the
don't tie your happiness.
The beauty of that is one shot can make me really happy. And all I need is
that's
one
also
out of
very
120.
Yeah, God, I don't know. Because I have people all the time. be like, oh, I want to get into it. What do I do? And I'm like, I have no idea how someone would get into it now. I really don't even know where you would start. But I would say, what is your thing, right? Like you want to be the next Brando, right? Go do theater.
When you said that, I thought Brandon Sornberger, by the way.
Brandon Sornberger? Unbelievable.
Because I call him Brando.
It is a psychopathic reference if I said that. That is a deep cut, guys. No one out there knows who we're talking about.
I think they do.
Only Brandon. No, I'm saying if you want to be like a serious, great actor, then go do theater.
Yeah.
Like my friend, she's doing this new theater thing in Ojai where she's directing, like John Barenthal's doing this play, and they're like trying to revive some semblance of a theater scene in LA. And that's driven by people who just miss acting, really miss doing something good, because we don't get to do that. I think that's great. Like that's something that you should do. If you like comedy, then go do improv. It's incredibly stupid and a waste of time. I'm just kidding. But it's fun, and you'll have a community. And then stop doing improv. Stop doing it and start writing sketches and film your sketches and create your own world and your own group. And you can do that from any city in America. Like the training out, I can send you to so many different improv schools across the Midwest. There's good theaters everywhere now. There really are. I know good improv theater in Tulsa, in Oklahoma City, in Phoenix, in Austin, in every city. Like, you don't need to come to LA. That being said, I am from LA and I love it here. And everybody who talks about how hard it is and they should leave, I'm like, leave.
Yeah.
This is my city. Get out. I love it here. It's a tough city, but it's my city.
When Gersh approached you, did they like try to like sell you?
No.
Or
Gersh never approached me.
Wait, what do you mean?
My manager who I was with for a very long time, his husband worked at Gersh. And I was at Paradigm for a long time and I needed to make a change. And he was like, do you want to come to Gersh? I was like, yeah. And that was it. It was that was it. There's no like headhunting.
I pictured, okay.
I'll tell you, I was at Paradigm for a long time. And again, no problem with any of those guys. Just sometimes you need to make a change.
Yeah.
And I went to make a change, and there was a certain somebody who at that time was at WME. It was like, oh, trying to sell me. And then when I left Paradigm, I was like, oh, mom has ended. I'm in between shows. I'm unemployed. I'm looking new stuff. And he's like, oh, I don't want you now.
What?
Yeah.
See, oh God.
So I was like, so anybody who's trying to sell you, I don't trust him.
Yeah.
I have relationships with people, and those are built over long periods of time. I've been in this business for far too long you're not selling me any snake oil.
That's great. You used to do a ton of commercials. Have you opened yourself back up to commercials? And have you thought about doing that? Oh, you are open to commercials?
No, I mean,
Ross
sure,
Lacey,
man.
where you at?
Well, Ross, it's funny. I went in and he had asked specifically if I would just come in and do audition for like the spokesperson thing. I went in, first call, did it. It was in person.
200 South La Brea.
200 South. I hadn't been in years. Went in, did it. Got the call back. Went in, did the call back. Didn't get it.
Oh, no.
They casted somebody who was a no-name guy. And saw the commercials, and they're terrible.
Oh, man.
They are. They're terrible.
They are, or he is?
He's not bad. It's
okay.
It's just not a very good commercial. It's not good. There's a whole campaign. So they're burying it. I'm not going to say what product.
Are you actively auditioning for getting submitted?
No.
Why not? Why wouldn't you do that?
I would.
You were so successful at it for such a long time.
I would, but if I'm going to go back to that, I'd be like, I'll do in-person stuff.
in-person auditions.
Yeah.
There's a lot more now.
Yeah. Like I can't make it full time. I just don't have the time to shoot self-tapes for commercials all the time. It's just the volume's too high.
Yeah.
You know?
I get it.
And also the payoff, that's a whole nother topic, but the payoff in commercials is the juice is not worth the squeeze anymore. It's just not.
But that sounds like it's everywhere though.
Yep.
And yet you're still squeezing.
Still squeezing. I don't know. You look at it's the disparity in our business right now is so wild because I know some celebrities and I know what they've gotten paid for commercials and it'll break your mind.
I know. It's truly like late stage capitalism is happening on a microcosm everywhere and acting is not immune. Like I was just going to ask you how you feel about A-listers doing commercials because it's like,
well, what else are they going to do? They're not going to, like, if you are.
But can I push back? Like, if you're an A-lister, they don't need to work again. A lot of them.
That's not true, man.
But if you've made $20 million in your career, that's 10 times as much as the normal person makes in their lifetime. You know what I mean, though?
You don't get it.
Okay, tell me.
Oh, my God. Years ago, I did what was I doing? Some show. What was it? It was The Office. I was on The Office, and Ed Begley Jr. was on the same episode I was on. And we're sitting at lunch together. I was like, give me your best advice. Ed, you've been in this business 40 plus years.
You asking for advice is interesting.
From Ed Begley Jr.? Hell yeah.
I like it.
And he goes, keep your nut low. Keep your nut low. The amount of money you need to spend a month to live, keep it low.
Yeah, I agree.
Great. I followed that to a certain extent. Also, I didn't. Well, you're on a show? Great. I'm going to get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. Doesn't sound crazy, does it?
No.
In LA, that could be $2 million.
Yep.
So now it's $2 million. $2 million, what's your mortgage a month? Do you know?
Got to be about 10, 11.
Yeah.
Thousand?
Probably closer to 12,000 a month. 12,000 a month. Just your mortgage.
That's like your actor math for an episode, right? Around that?
Yeah, but that's not including anything else. So 12,000 a month times 12, that's 144,000 a year. It's probably more. It's probably like 15,000 a month.
Yeah.
Right? So you're talking around 200,000 a year on just your mortgage. That's not including so many other things, right? So if you are this big actor that was getting paid, I don't know. God, let's give me an example. If you've only, again, you say someone's made 20 million in their career, you're like, well, 20 million, 25% of 20 million is actually 5 million. They only made 5 million. And you can only live off of 5 million in LA for like, I don't know, 6, 7 years, 5 years, if you're lucky.
Okay.
Really? You can live in a 1-bedroom, but you can't have 2 kids and live in a nice house and send your kids to private school and have to. So I don't think you understand. If a woman is on a show,
Yeah.
right? Woman's on a big show nowadays, especially. Let's say she's on a big Netflix show, right? And they have a big red carpet premiere. She needs to buy a dress. They're not giving her money for that dress. She has to buy a dress. That can be about $1,000. She needs to do hair and makeup. That's $1,000. They're not giving her money for that. They used to, not anymore. So just her going to her own premiere is $2,000. That's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
So you're talking about just maintaining themselves in this business. Let's say you're Jennifer Gardner and you used to be married to Ben Affleck and you're still so famous and you have people trying to take your picture through bushes and you have to have security sometimes. Her overhead has to be insane a year.
Yeah.
The amount of money she has to make a year just to live, just to break even is $1 million at least. Just because didn't keep the nut low.
I agree.
Because they used to make so much money that that was all churning. But now the money's been removed from everybody. So no one's making $1 million a movie anymore. Like next to nobody. People that are making a lot of money per movie is a handful. Everyone else is making money on commercials. That's how they can maintain that celebrity life, is that commercial money. When's the last time George Clooney made a movie?
Last year, they put it on him and Brad
Wolves,
Pitt. Wolves.
Right. One in the past 5 years. So he made his money. He made more on Casamigos than he has on all of his movies put together.
Yeah, probably. Casamigos is huge.
And then he's doing Nespresso commercials. That's probably paying an insane amount of money because it's George Clooney.
Yeah.
They used to make They made Lost in Translation is about the movie is about a celebrity who has to go to Japan to do commercials because it's not respected. Now every single commercial has an Oscar winner in it. It's wild.
Yeah.
So then what trickled down? Everybody else were like, I'm like, oh, I hope I break 200 grand this year, which in LA, hello, is, you're lucky to have a house and a family. That's where we're at. So yeah, celebrities I would never fault a celebrity for doing a commercial. I will say this though.
Uh-oh, what do we got?
This is my soapbox.
When they do crypto commercials.
I shouldn't say this.
Oh. Say it.
Are we a union or not, right? We all walked in the Screen Actors Guild marches and we all suffered through the strike, right? Then we come out of it and Hollywood has not gotten back. And we have something like the Screen Actors Guild Awards. And this year for Best Drama, there was, I believe, 6 shows nominated, 5 of which were shot in England, 1 was shot in Canada. I don't believe those are union-friendly shows.
Really?
No, I'm saying I don't think that's union-friendly.
Right.
Because we also are partners with IATSE and all these unions. Sometimes those are in Canada, there are some agreements. But there's a lot of reasons, there's a lot of non-union reasons to shoot in England. And I shot a show in England. They do not have unions like we do here.
Yeah.
So are we supporting unions by giving awards to shows that aren't supporting unions?
Yeah.
And in that same regard, if a celebrity is getting $5 million to do a commercial, and then they go to Buenos Aires and they shoot that commercial with a bunch of actors and a bunch of crew that are non-union, where is all that money for that commercial going? That's going into their pocket. So there's a point where our union has to stand up and says, well, if you want to go to Buenos Aires and not pay union crews or union actors, then that actor has to pay a penalty. Or you as a production company need to pay a penalty to use that actor out of the country. And then that money goes back into helping people that are FICOR and the money that the union needs.
Would you ever run for like a SAG board member?
No, I'm way too dumb for that.
Don't. You son of a bitch.
I'm just saying, the only power we have is the celebrities at the top. And the only time, and you even hear about Rob Lowe, him talking about,
oh yeah,
he wanted to shoot a show in LA. He said, I'm not doing it anywhere else in LA. So they didn't shoot the show.
Yeah.
There's also that risk. Absolutely. But then our union needs to step up and be like, so if you're going to shoot this show in Ireland, then there's got to be,
You should run.
I don't know.
I went to the Stay in LA, actually volunteered at it. The Stay in LA rally, it was great. Stuff like more of that grassroots
PJ's
stuff.
doing great stuff.
Yeah.
I'll vote for PJ,
Yeah. My last question I've been asking, we're at an hour, is who took a chance on you?
Who took a chance on me? That's a good question. I mean, straight up Laura Suhu.
Oh, yeah.
Laura Suhu was my very first ever agent of anything. She took a chance on me in 2001. And she was at Osbrink at the time. And her and I booked a lot of commercials together. Yeah, I owe Laura for getting me into the business. Absolutely. I haven't talked to her in years, but hi, Laura, if you hear this.
That's beautiful.
But
I love that.
I appreciate that. And then besides her, because as you know, the crossover from commercials to scripted is non-existent. So then you have to have someone else taking a chance on you, and that person would be, Brian Ferrantino. Yeah.
Is he still an agent?
He's a manager, Ferrantino, or the Quest Entertainment now. He was my manager for 17 years.
Oh, hell yeah. Amazing. The one thing I want to talk about quickly that I didn't, do you know what number you are on IMDb? What number Matt Jones you are?
Oh, like
you're
20,
like a Pope.
26?
No, you're like 48. You're Matt Jones XLVIII. Isn't that funny that there's that many Matt Jones?
Well, I was Matt L. Jones for a very long time.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And I wanted Matt Jones on IMDb, on SAG. I wanted to just be Matt Jones on SAG. And I got that a long time ago. I was the Matt Jones on SAG somewhere around like 2007. I got that. And then on IMDb, it still was just Matt L. Jones. And I was like, I'm sick of this. I hate Matt L. Jones. I hate that.
Oh, I see.
So then I was like, I changed it to just Matt Jones. And by the time I did that, there was already 40-something other Matt Joneses. But I'm the first Matt Jones that comes up, so it don't matter. It ain't no thing.
You're Pope Matt Jones, the 48.
Fine by me.
Matt, this was a pleasure.
Yeah, sorry.
You always lighten my day, which I love.
Do I lighten it? Mike, just need perspective, man.
I'm going to quit this and go coach Little League Baseball after this.
It's the best.
All right. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. These will be great clips on social media.
I mean, good luck clipping it down to me finding a point.
You have to tail slate at the end here.
Tail slate. Matt Jones, 6'4", SAG.